Good afternoon. Do, 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 do. All right, we're gonna try to get a little bit, some people in here. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to try to get a couple more people in here. I don't think it's charging. Okay, great. My channel, my videos, just to see if I'm online. Looks like I'm streaming. Okay. All right. Looks like I am streaming. Oh joy. So what we're going to do, yeah. All right. So what we're I'm gonna mute that. I'm gonna share this with some peoples. Don't know how, but we're going to share it with you. No. Just to kind of get the word out. We'll do it with you too. Why not? Okay. Add more. Don't know if it will find you or not. Let's see. Alrighty. Continue with Facebook. Alrighty. Oh, I guess I gotta log in here too. Alrighty. I thought I was already a member. Nope, I want to. No, I don't need to do all that. Well, hello, hello, hello. Somebody's watching. I don't know who's watching, but if you're watching, how are you doing? I'm trying to get a couple people on here, and evidently it's not working, but that's okay. Oh man, what I'm going to talk to you today, it's all about what's behind the badge. Yes. And if you're watching, I appreciate it that you're watching. Of course, I doubt that somebody actually is watching. Let's see, share a link. I don't know if that will actually work. Share in a group. Let's see, do I have a group? Share with a private message. Can I do that? Alright, let's see now. Wait. Hey, we can do that. Mm, what else? Markham, Kate. Why not? We'll go ahead and send it to these guys. Alright. Send it to you too. Why not? Let's get on here and see if I can actually. Oh, what happened to my. I had to stop streaming. Why is it? Huh. I don't know what's going on, but I knew I was streaming. Anyway, good afternoon and welcome everybody. If you're coming in for the first time, it's a little after 6 p.m., almost 7, 6:51 Eastern Standard Time. I thought I'd come on here and talk to you a little bit, do a little bit of vlogging. And the topic for this vlog is what's behind the badge. What does it take to become actually a good correctional officer? What does it take to be a correctional officer? I know that's many of different topics, and rightly so, because it takes a lot uh, to be a correctional officer, a good correctional officer. And I figured you'd like to know what it really does take to be that correctional officer. And again, hopefully, if you are coming in for the first time, I wanted to welcome you. I want to see what's going on, why I'm not streaming. I seen streaming start. I bet you that's what it was. Hey, alrighty. So, we are now streaming, which is a good thing. And now, once I can get, let's see, get me back online here. No. No, I should be back up and running. Why, oh, why? Let's see. Come to my channel. Well, it sees that I'm online. Okay, but why does it not want to play here? Alrighty, let's refresh this. Alrighty. Let's go back to the YouTube page. What I'm trying to do, folks, is I want to get the word out. I'll do it this way. I'll try to do it this way. Let's see if I can get the word out. Is that all right? Yeah. Message. Awesome. Okay. Hey, there I am. Alrighty. Create a group. No. No. I don't understand what's going on. I had, wait, what did I do? I lost it. I'm going to forward this to, go to Facebook, minimize that. I had, here we go. Alrighty. Alrighty. Go ahead. Share that. Okay. Let's see if I can do add more. No. Let's see Facebook again. Oh. So, good afternoon and welcome everybody. My name is Gray Cray, and as you can see, my name is Mark Avery. I've been in the prison system since '04, and the topic for today is all about what's behind the badge. What does it take to be a correctional officer? Now, for those of you that are members of different groups, I would love for you to share this with your friends and folks that are correctional officers who think they would like to be a correctional officer. And the idea for today's topic is what does it take to wear the badge? So there are many different types of badges. There's gold, there's silver, there's metal, there's the patch. But that's just an object. That is just a tangible item. That does not make a correctional officer. What makes the correctional officer is not the badge that you wear on your shirt or your uniform or clipped to your belt. It is what's here and what's also here. Because at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we protect the public safety. That is the biggest thing, is public safety. Protect the public. And how do we go about doing that? Now, once you're an officer and you're working inside behind the walls, your job is not to belittle them. Your job is not to rough them up, I guess you could say. Your job is to accountability. Make sure that they are where they're supposed to be at. And if you have some ideas and some topic ideas, I would love the input for this discussion. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Being a correctional officer, it's something that you have to want. It's something you have to be right for the job. Being a correctional officer is not for everybody. Not every police officer can be a correctional officer. Not every correctional officer can be a police officer. I'm gonna put that out there. But to wear the badge, that badge is a seal of integrity. That badge is a seal of honor. Just because you wear the badge, that doesn't make you that correctional officer that you need to be or want to be. That badge is there to say that you work for the Department of Corrections for the state that you work for, or the city that you work for, or the county that you work for, because there are different municipalities. Of course, you got the city, you got the state, you got the county, and you got the federals. So, just because you wear the badge, that doesn't make you a correctional officer. So let's dig deeper into wearing that said badge. Again, please share this posting, because one day this posting may save somebody's life, because knowledge is power. And having that strength and having that knowledge of what it goes into putting on the uniform, putting on the badge on your shirt to go behind the walls inside the prison system and have the accountability of the inmate population. Not only just the inmate population, but you also have accountability of the staff that are working behind those walls, that are working up front in the admin areas. That is what you as a correctional officer job is all about. Knowing who you have, who's working with you, who you're working around, the dangers. You have to, as a correctional officer, you can't have these blinders on. You can't be blinded and have that tunnel vision. You have to be able to use your peripherals and know what's going all the way around you not just what's in front of you. You got to be able to hear, you got to be able to see, you got to be able to smell, because all those different factors, all those different senses that we have developed and that we are blessed with as a correctional officer, those senses will help us, enable us to be a good correctional officer, to be able to make sure that the staff and other inmates are safe within behind the walls, and most important, public safety. So the journey of a correctional officer is you wake up one day and say, I want to get into I want to get into the field of law enforcement, but I don't want to go be a police officer. I'd love to be a police officer, or a deputy. I would like to make my first step, my first journey. That's what this is all about. This is a journey. We're going to take a journey through the eyes of a correctional officer. The idea of this journey is to open up your eyes so you can see what's going on. All right, so you wake up one day and say, I think me becoming a correctional officer is a great idea. So what do I need to do to make that happen? Well, don't watch TV. Don't watch those news. I'm sorry, the movies, because that right there is all what we call Hollywoodized. Now, if you want to understand some of the behind the scenes, do your research. Know what type of drugs there are. Know what type of gangs there are. Know your area of the area, the department, and the city that you work for, because each city, each state has their own different level of inmate incarcerated, different gangs that are affiliated with that prison walls. If you know what's going around you, that's going to make you even stronger. So once you become that correctional officer, you go into the human resource officer, you fill out the application, you sign the dotted line. Oh boy, the journey begins. What did I get myself into? I have signed the dotted line to be a correctional officer. Oh my gosh. Don't worry. It'll be okay. So, you get that pen, you fill it out, you hand it in. You're now at the interview. You're sitting in front of 2, 3, maybe 4 individuals. Typically 3. You'll have a human resource personnel. You'll have a couple ranking individuals. You may have a corporal. You may have a sergeant or somebody into that effect. So you're sitting in front of them. You are nervous as all get out. You don't know what to expect. You don't know who's going to be there, who's going to be doing all the talking. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Before you walk in there, do this for me. Take a deep breath and let it out and relax. Because in reality, them that are sitting in front of you were in your position when they first started. So what they're looking for is not for the intimidation purposes. They want to know who you are, and you are also interviewing them as would this be a fit for you. So don't forget that. If you have questions, ask. Of course, they're going to have questions. They're going to ask. But don't be scared to ask. Relax. So once you go through the interviewing process, now each state's a little bit differently, each county's a little bit differently, but let's just say we're going to go on the same path here. And this is a typical path. You go through the interview, you do the drug test, you go through possibly a psych evaluation. The doctor may come in and talk with you. Once all your evaluations goes through, once all of your everything is crystal clear, you're good to go. It is now time to sign up for your date of training. Training. That is training. What type of training are you going to go through? Well, it depends. How long is your training? Each state is a little bit differently. Some are 4 weeks, some are several months. So look at your training history. Even some of the states have different requirements, height restrictions, weight restrictions. If you got within those restrictions, you have to do physical activity within those restrictions as well. Some states don't even have those type of restrictions, or a physical activity levels that you've got to complete. But let's just say you go through the academy. The biggest thing that they were trying to convey to you within the academy is a couple of things: policy, laws. You're going to get some defensive tactics, the basics. All of this is all basics. Once you get your laws and policies, your basic stuff. That's all it is. It's just basic information for you. Handcuffing, retention, making sure that you have the basic knowledge. And see, it's up to you if you want to continue on that knowledge of information. So you go through all the classes. The biggest part of it is book work, reviewing the policies, reviewing the laws, CPR, first aid. It's all there. Once you go through all that, then of course you'll have your physical activity. The marching, the handcuffing, the calisthenics, the push-ups, the sit-ups. All of that is going to be combined within your training class. Oh boy, now we're getting close to. Now some states require you to take a state exam. Now a lot of those particular states, the information that you're given within that academy is so to help you prepare for that state exam. Some states don't require a state exam, but that's okay. But this is all about what's behind the badge. So as we're moving forward into your training, you're going to get pepper spray. You're going to shoot a firearm, possibly a 38, and the big time thing is the pepper spray. Listen. Use your ears when you're in the academy, because that will help you to better advance your career within your department. Again, welcome those who have come in to listen, and I thank you very much. But I just wanted to, if you're coming in for the first time, please share and like the video. I appreciate all of that. So as you go through the academy, and now it's time to figure out where you're going to work at. This is where it separates the officer from who wants to be the officer, who's not really cut out to be the officer. You're going to go into a program called the FTO, Field Training Program. You'll have a field training officer, maybe 1 or 2 weeks with this officer. Their job is to guide you through that path of your journey through to becoming that correctional officer. As you go through that journey with that individual, I say that because it could be a corporal, it could be a sergeant, it could be another CO. But as you're going through that journey with that individual, they will help you, they will aid you, they will guide you, but they won't always give you the right answers because they want you to be able to figure things out on your own too. Now, again, what's behind the badge? The badge is integrity. Know what that badge means. As you go through this program to be that officer, be that officer. Know the laws, know your policies. That's your biggest thing. Know your policy and follow your policy to the T, down to the bone. Now, I say that very lightly and loosely. And why I say that is follow your policy as it is written, because that will save you in the long run. Now, when it comes to the safety of the staff, I want to tell you, we do what we have to do to protect our staff. If our staff is in danger, and if you are able to go to the scene of situation, go to that scene of that situation, because you never know. The tables may be turned one day and that may happen to you. You never know what's going to go behind those walls. As I'm watching the news and I'm watching the newspaper and I'm hearing the social media stuff talking about how bad correctional officers are and what our officers are doing, bringing in stuff into behind these walls and bringing the stuff to these inmates that aren't supposed to have, and doing things with inmates that they're not supposed to do. What you are doing, not only are you tarnishing your name, you're also tarnishing that badge of honor. And we need to stop that. We as correctional officers, we need to hold ourselves higher, to a higher level than when we first started. We need to better ourselves and knowing that we're not going to tarnish that badge. Now, as working with the inmates, what would be a good thing to do instead of trying to get away with certain things is to, I know, is to help them. If you're able to enlighten them to a better pathway, why not? Yeah, a lot of people talk about, oh, we can't reform them, we can't reform them, we can't reform them. In some cases, yes, we can. And there, of course, there are cases that they just don't want to be. And I understand that because I've been in this system since '04. And there are things I'm still learning as an officer and through my tenure with my departments that I've worked for. And I've worked for 2 different states. But that badge, think of your brothers and sisters that are also wearing that same badge. Because when you do something that you ain't supposed to be doing, you're bringing in stuff that you ain't supposed to be bringing in, not only are you tarnishing your name, you're tarnishing the brothers and sisters that also wears that badge on that uniform. So let's stop and think. Let's join together and unite and work with each other and make a better department. And not only that, it makes a better of yourself. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out this evening. And every so often, I'm going to start this new little vlogging episode of What's Behind the Badge. What's behind the badge? I'll catch y'all next time. Peace. Love. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all.